All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA Show. So, what I'm going to call this podcast is Stop Playing Stupid. And when I say that, I mean with your own life. But, I had to realize this at a younger age, kind of calling myself out on stupidity. And I think a lot of us are afraid to do that. It's especially when you start talking about finances and things you're just doing in general. It could be relationships, friendships, it could be at work. You kind of know, if you do certain things, it's not going to work out for you. You may throw the dice, but you just know you're going to probably crap out. Maybe not instantly, but probably in the future. You also know kind of when things are full of shit, but you kind of play stupid, right? Especially, I think, a lot of times in relationships, you can kind of feel like, hey, if I'm with this person, it's most likely ain't going to work out. But hey, let's give it a shot. Let's drag this out. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. It may have happened to you, or you see other people, you're like, what? Do you not see what's going on here? And that could just be in anyone's life, especially overspending, right? You see people like just spending more money than they're making, or they get caught up signing things that you're like, what are you doing? And it's kind of interesting when you can kind of see other people's problems, but you can't see your own. And back to playing stupid. I remember we used to be in the vending business, and we used to hire people to go collect money. And a lot of times we would catch them stealing money, and they still would argue that they weren't stealing money, either from us or the bar owner that we had the equipment in. Now, regardless, when we caught them, we kind of caught them. But they just, we would confront them, and we would even show them the numbers that, say, we did previously, or what someone, saw them do. And I used to have to, after proving everything to them, they still wouldn't believe me. And I'm like, are we going to really play this stupid? But I used to have to say this: either you're stealing money, or you don't know how to count money correctly. You can pick, but let me know which one it is. They're like, of course I can count money correctly. And I'd be like, well, we just showed you you're short a lot of money. Per bar or per drop off, you're short. It's missing. We've even shown them a lot of times we'd have counters or trackers. They didn't even know about these things. So what was interesting is they wouldn't, a lot of times once we really proved it to them, they were kind of stumped. And I'm like, listen, I'm not calling you a thief to the level like whatever, but again, can you count? Yes. Okay, then you stole the money. Well, I didn't really steal it. I just tried to, I needed some, whatever the case may be. You get my point. And, I used to look at myself and say, do I play stupid a lot of times in life? Because a lot of times I know the answers to my own questions, but I don't want to, I want somebody else to almost sometimes also answer them for me. And I had to stop doing that. You got to sometimes just get to the point in your life where every decision you make is on you. Just every decision. I don't give a shit, good or bad. Now, that doesn't mean things aren't going to happen or fall apart. That's going to happen, I think, regardless. I don't care what you do in your life. You're not going to bat 1,000, right? You're going to make good decisions, probably bad decisions as well. But when you play stupid, especially to yourself, or if you're always lying to yourself, I can assure you it's going to take you down eventually. Because a lot of times just one bad decision financially, it can even be one bad decision going out and drinking too many drinks one day and getting in a car and getting a DUI. It could be whatever the hell it is. Don't bullshit yourself. If, for instance, you're going out to drink tonight and Uber may cost you $20, you get a DUI, it's 15 grand. Why? And who knows? I may get a DUI one day. What I'm trying to say here is, if you can prevent it, why not? Why play stupid? Why even put yourself in a position where you're setting yourself up to fail? And I see so many people do this financially, and you may see them too. They are just, again, spending money that they shouldn't be spending. It could be getting involved with a mortgage. That's a lot of people at the beginning of relationships too. When they're first getting married or whatever, they get these mortgages. They're not really thinking clearly. They don't think, oh, wait a minute, if I have a kid, that's another expense. And if I plan on having a family, that's another expense. And also, maybe my wife will only work part-time, or I may work part-time. Someone's going to, you got to think things through or ask people. I see it with cars a lot of time. People buying cars, they can't, keep up with them. They can barely afford the payment, but then they can't even afford tires when that goes, or they can't maintain it correctly. And this can happen with anybody. Now, I'm not sitting here, and this has happened to me. Don't get me wrong. When the bottom falls out, it falls out. I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is, don't lie to yourself, especially when it comes to finances, and don't play dumb. And don't also, I think, in my opinion, play dumb to other people. Like, some things just happen. There's no, and it can't be explained. But there's also sometimes you're playing somebody. And again, it could be a relationship. It could be even maybe borrowing money. It could be whatever. Don't play the dumb role. Because then after, I think, when something blows up in your face, and especially if it comes out that you knew more than you're saying, you're going to look like a fool. You're going to, I think, feel like a fool too. And a lot of times there's no need for it. Just be truthful. I'm telling you, the more, and believe me, I'm not somebody high and mighty that I never lie or never bullshit or whatever. That's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to myself, for the most part, I want to be as truthful to myself as possible. Not even get caught up with everybody else. But I definitely don't want to dumb myself down or make me feel like, hey, I'm going to take this job on that I know I already have no interest in, and whatever it is, I don't like the hours, I don't like the people, I don't like where it's at, but I'm going to go work there. What do you think's going to happen? You think maybe it'll turn around, but again, you're playing dumb. Why would you do that? And if you need to work there, you need to work there. But I would obviously start looking for another job. But this could, be a relationship. Like, if you don't like somebody, man, don't think a lot of times it's going to turn around. Most likely it's going to get worse than better. All right? But, man, I just see so many people kind of playing dumb. And I think you know exactly what I mean regarding that. And it goes, too, with, like, starting businesses. And I brought a business not long ago. And I got it at a really great deal. It was too good of a deal. And I said, it's something's wrong here. I just felt it internally. And I still did it. And then I came to find out that there was a lot of bullshit involved, a lot of, lies and a lot of things that weren't truthful. And what was funny is I kind of played myself dumb. I really did, because I'm too old to kind of, sometimes a deal's too good to be, really right. Now, I'm not saying sometimes you can just find great deals, that's whatever. But when it comes to certain things, you should have the instincts to know better. And I knew better, but I didn't want to almost know better. I almost wanted to force it to work out, but it was still a really good deal. And I thought I could, even if it wasn't what I thought it was, I could still kind of turn it around. And I couldn't once I got in, because I didn't realize how bad it really was. And how much, I guess you could say, how much they misled me regarding a lot of things, especially including the numbers. So, really pay attention to those things. If you have that instinct where somebody's pulling a fast one on you, sometimes it just comes down to common sense. And a lot of things that you don't do in your life, you don't realize all the shit you're avoiding. A lot of times we talk about the things we missed out on in our life. Man, if I did this, look what this would have happened. Don't think that would have been the case. If I would have brought this, if I would have invested in this, look where I'd be now. That may have happened, but it may have not happened too. Because it may have not gone your way, or something else could have happened. Who knows? But a lot of times, again, when you're like, wait a minute, that's too good of a deal, or that's too good of a deal, right? Or that doesn't sound right. It could be even buying a car that's, way under price, and you're like, well, because this car is a piece of shit. Right? Or this car, there's probably a lot more problems than I'm seeing right now. Or I'm just using that for an example. And then you kind of get wrapped up in it. And then you get it, and then you got a lemon on your hands. You're like, damn it, I knew this already. Again, you're kind of playing dumb with yourself. Just make sure you cover your ass, all right? And don't take advantage of yourself, is what I should really say. Because I think a lot of us just underestimate. We just don't pay attention sometimes. We just want things to be a certain way. And sometimes we just don't do the right things. So, anyways, I am going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, check out my YouTube channel, Rich CELENZA. If you're not already listening to it there, it seems like my podcast is growing on my YouTube channel as much as on my podcast network through Libsyn and all those places. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting more and more views on my podcast on YouTube, which is quite interesting. Also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up. Listen, I'm always out to learn from other people, and it's my opinion sometimes may or may not be for you. They also may or may be coming off offensive. I'm not here to offend anybody, and I am by no means a rocket scientist. But I just try to be as truthful as I can and try to really help people maybe look at their lives in a different way, maybe. So, all right, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.